Good morning, guys. This is my update on 1542 certification, registration, waiver, and to try to give you the facts. We're not discertified. Our registration was approved by PERC. We're now waiting to see if our compliance and our waiver still stands strong when it comes to union dues deduction from the county. That'll be our next step. If they rule against us having that again, then we're going to have to go through our own deduction. But the local is registered and is not certified this time. Now, let me address the issue of going to another local, preferably from what some people have been talking in the Landside area about going to 199. Let me explain the process of switching over to another local by any group. It's a process that is very delicate because the international union sees it as a rating by one local into another local. That is not acceptable, and the international will stop it if they find out, and they would charge the other local president with rating and jeopardize her ability to function for a while that happens. I had to send email to the international because they received the petition from someone most probably who had the petition. I don't know who yet, but I will find out. And it jeopardized Miss Cece Brown's position, and she was addressed by the international director. So I stepped in and I said that it wasn't Cece issue, that this is something we had spoken about, and that she had received calls, multiple calls and texts from Landside, and their interests are going to another union, and that Landside had prepared a petition to send over. The petition originally was to say that in case we get decertified, that we would go to them, that they would take over. Well, the final petition, that's not what it said. It had nothing to say in case. It said we would go over, and that's how the international took it as a rating issue. Now, the process for doing and going to another union is very simple, and it's very complex. It's handled by PERC, the Public Employees Regulatory Commission. What does this mean when I say PERC? They will hold a hearing. Local 1542 will provide a lawyer. Local 199 will provide a lawyer. The county has to get involved and bring a lawyer from the county attorney's office. The cases are presented. We speak in front of the commission. They hear all the evidence. They look at it. Then they take about 6 months, the whole process, to render a decision. Their decision is final. There is no changing it. There is nothing. Whether they go or they stay is, at the end of the day, PERC's decision. Not anyone else, not one group, not the people. That is what is governed across the entire country that has unions. Mind you, what happens when you switch over to another local that has another union contract? You go under their contract, you don't have anything that is from this contract, it is removed. Whatever benefits you have that are strictly only for aviation is removed. That's the process. Don't let anyone else tell you that this is a fast process, that it happens. It does not. It's a very long process. So at least you have the truth from the horse's mouth, which is me. Now I'm going to address Landside on an issue, and that I made a video, which this video said that I could do without Landside if I have maintenance. I should have been more precise, but I didn't want to get into the weed and this back and forth that is constantly happening. And I should have said I could have done without the group that consistently, which are non-union members, consistently keep trying to circumvent and undermine the union because they think that we're not doing enough for certain parts of the operations or administrative orders that are out there. People have to remember Article 3 of the contract gives management right to do certain things, and you cannot fight it directly. It has to be fought indirectly or with a way of you putting certain criteria and they don't have to accept it. But I did address the entire Landside area, and that was wrong. I should have been specific just to the group so I could at least excuse those other good people that are in Landside that are members and that are non-members. This was my mistake because I was tired of listening to the same thing, and I was also accused of stealing. So that was my mistake on that video. If you see it, yeah, I did say it. That is a fact, but it was my mistake on it. Having said that, let me bring you up to date about what's happening at TNT. TNT Airport, 17,000 acres, has been taken by the state. They're leaving us with 6,400 acres. That is showing you that the state eventually will take over the whole airport. They can do that under emergency control. They can do it to any of the airports. If that ever happens, and they by any chance takes over the Miami or any of the GAs, it falls under the state rules, state payroll, state pay scale, state guidelines. The county is no longer involved. And our people that are in that area, if they decide to take it all, including the people, they fall under those guidelines. So that's what that means. You must keep an eye open when you see this. People think you're concrete in the areas you are. Nothing is concrete in this period of time that we're living in. The other issue that I have to address with you all is what what happened with the bunch of layoffs we're going to have countywide. When most people in Florida went and voted for separating constitutional office from the county on November 2nd, 2018, they didn't read the resolution. The resolution had inside that these five constitutional office basically would not be losing any money. They could request as much money as they want from the county, and the county would have to provide it. That's why right now, part of our shortfall of $402 million is not only that, but it's some of the federal funding that has been curtailed or about to be eliminated by the current administration, which gives us grants. I know that you guys see and believe that, yeah, we're making money. We make money. But per the FAA, and you can check this, the FAA's for us in order to have aviation funding grants for us to construct and do any kind of that work, we cannot show a profit. Whatever profits we make must be reinvested into aviation to improve concessions, to improve all kinds of things. In negotiations, when we sit, we can allocate and we can try to work that those allocations are part of the operation and that is needed, but not before and not after, and we cannot show a profit. If you have any more questions on this, so you don't get misled that we make money, why can't we get pay scales or any of that? This is the reason. FAA holds us to a very tight line. They hold the county to a very tight line. 5, 6 years ago, the county took funds that were not inclined services, and the FAA made them pay for it back, or they would have closed the airport. So just so you understand the intricacies of the line we straddle between the federal funding, state control, and county management. So any questions, please call me. Feel free, and I will answer any questions. To the issues that people are not telling you, I have been now for almost a year and a half trying to go through compensation to look at the starting salaries of all classifications because of how the market is out there and how the fact that our people are not making enough as entry level. We're still working on that. It's not going to be over tomorrow. It's going to take a bit longer. There's studies being done on a constant basis. But now with this shortfall and now with this issue going on with layoffs, that we're going to have 142 layoffs to begin with, it is delayed it even more. So if you have any additional questions, please call me and I will be more than glad to give you an update. We still This is from the meeting on June. We still have two people pending to go to arbitration, one from security, one from airside, one for termination, one for 5 day suspension. Both cases look like they have merits. We may be able to settle on one, but the others are there. We've been given the go ahead to hire people, which we were frozen because we're still short on manpower and areas per square foot. So, any questions that you may have, that you may want to find out additionally, please call me or call Ephraim 305 905 5914. We will not be having a meeting this Thursday, the 17th, because it's they have a what they call a town hall meeting about what's happening with politicians and what is going on with some of the laws that may be coming in January. There may be additional restrictions and issues on the federal level. There has been rumors from the federal level, I don't know how true it is, that they were looking at modifying FMLA, uh, accumulation of sick leave, all that sort of stuff. If you're not aware, the federal government under the current administration, Trump eliminated the unions for federal employees and for TSA. TSA was able to win it back, but with very very limited uh, parameters. They're still fighting it. So just be aware, stay informed. I know that it's a lot of information and people get tired, but anything that affects public employees, it begins at the federal and it trickles down to local government. The 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 the, the governor and the legislature at the state of Florida are very anti-union. They've always been. The end goal for them is to eliminate all unions in Florida. We have already lost 69,000 people that were union members and 34 or 37 locals. Keep informed, be aware. If you got questions, ask us, and I will be more than glad to answer what I know within the information that I'm given. I'll be doing more of these improv meetings on YouTube, and I'm going to try to go to different areas to have meetings for members that cannot make it to the local. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.